俺兄貴にはなれないけど自分にしかできないことやってくるよ。
This scene of seeing Kamina's final resting place for the first time and Simon's goodbye to him, they also make it more emotional with the addition of the soft blowing winds, and it's a nice touch how she holds her hair out of her face here too. We all know that was a heartfelt goodbye right there, and they don't need to tell us what was said, you can just see it and imagine your own words. Seeing it properly fly for the first time, having been away writing and editing a different couple of videos before returning to do this one, is wild to me!
急ごう。なんだか今日は敵も本気で来るような気がするんだ。
そうね。そろそろ終わりにしないとこっちが持たないわね。
Firstly, I like the music change here. I don't recall hearing it in the first half as we get this more action-themed military kind of tune, and it works since they're now at war compared to before. Also, I think it's a nice addition to mention the state of the overworked men. They're not pretending to be immortal, and instead acknowledge how, if they don't win soon, they'll fall apart.
あんなにでっかいんだよ。
本当だとも。俺たちを誰だと思ってるんだ。
He said that thing again! Also, speaking of saying that thing again, be sure to obliterate that subscribe button and hit the bell to drive the analytics from 70+% watching but unsubscribed down to 60%. That'd be amazing. Okay, that was sick! Let's do this! Starting this next large-scale battle, like I mentioned in the first half, being a huge fan of Code Geass, this is just extra exciting to me since their large wars look much the same. Right now, anyway. That is also very sick! Let's continue to do this! Goodness me, this is now heating up in the very best of ways as they're now ruthlessly attacked from the ground as well as the air. Such a long continuous shot, dude. That was amazing. How did they do that so smoothly? It's so awesome to see that even as we delve into the second half that the animation quality has continued to be consistent so far. Hopefully it'll be able to keep it up to the end too. Dude, not even gonna lie, I had my mouth like half open and was seriously amazed and confused right up to the reveal as to who the heck these guys were. It's amazing that they used a prior event, that being the filming they did that went horribly wrong for them, as a catalyst to provoke other humans to take up the fight against them. That was seriously an outstanding moment for me. Also, take a second win here for introducing yet more interesting looking characters. Okay, so this one right here qualifies under the Maximum of 2 Wins Award Act of 2020. So take that double win for an unbelievable attack, and for me why it qualifies is because clearly everyone would think he's going to be powering up, and boom! Just like that, it doesn't happen, and their ship destroys both him and his airship. I love surprises like that. Then this gets another win for destroying their other base. That was insane. I loved it. The animation was stunning and it had that cool fight the power music going as well. Woo! Wait! Emergency plot twist! As annoying as this technique is, as they're on the verge of victory, it's creating some outstanding looking art style changes both inside and outside the mechs. Her using the camera and managing to step in to stop them from ramming the energy wave like massive numpties. It's also very clever to use their own tech against them once again. Oh yeah, there's that epic music once again as Simon sneakily sneak attacks from underground, making use of his speciality with the drill.
この切削音はドリルです。
ありがとうよ。今のショックで先っちょが入ったぜ。
Is it me, or did he not sound a bit like Kamina? At least in his wording right there. I swear I've never heard him say pal before. I really did not think that I'd be issuing out 2 maximum wins awards in the span of just a single episode, but this just straight up deserves it all day long. From the music to that stunning animation and the debris effects I spoke so much about during the first half, I'm blown away. That was fantastic! A genuinely insane good-looking plot twist! Oh dear Lord, this gets a win. I mean, just look at it!
あれは
お父様。
I feel I should mention at this stage, having seen that awesome moment as he climbs above the clouds and gets to witness not only the entire enemy near enough, but also the main enemy himself, that I haven't the first clue what to expect from here on out. I mean, it's crazy to me that there are so many episodes left and yet we're here. So I'm beyond excited now.
見せてやるのは黒の兄弟の力じゃねえ。大グレンダンの力だ。
That's some brilliant voice acting right here from Kitone!
あのおっさんにかましてくれよ。バシャンバー。
Buta still being Buta. Stuff like that looks so good, it really appeals to me! On top of genuinely great headbanging music, it's the largest of large battles! That is until coming back here later on. This is quite small in comparison to the end. This really puts into perspective just how massive this thing is, and that was just such a great moment. It's got me all smiles right now. Looked great, sounded great, was great, and thus gets a win.
大グレン最後の大仕事よ。爆破緊急ラスト。
Oh no, this feels so weird. It feels like the end of the anime, and yet we're only on episode 15 and they're talking about how Gurren is basically done for.
なんとかたどり着いたようだな。
That!
今日の俺は一味違うぞ。
何？
寝る必要もなく戦い続けることのできる体を手に入れたのだ。
Viral returning yet again as a truly spectacular battle is about to begin. Also, I like that dude because he also voices the guy with the trench coat and glasses in Snafu, which I've also just finished covering.
俺は獣人の枠を越えた。ここが貴様の墓場だ。シモン。何？
I've said it many times, but goodness me, bait and switch. It's crazy to me how often it's used to great effect in Gurren Lagann. We expect a big battle and instead Simon goes all Neo from the Matrix and smashes him back with like a single punch. They didn't have to add all of the damage to the surrounding environment from his attack, but they did it anyway because they're awesome.
お前たちは自分を正義と信じておるのかもしれんが、この世界を守っているのはわしなのだ。
何を言ってる？
人類のために死ぬがよい。
This sudden attack and his defense and 50% of the win is because I just noticed the incredible amount of detail on the face of the Spiral Lord.
思い知らせてやる。本当の螺旋力というもの。
お父様。
Oh no, I don't like where this is going, but what a cool mech!
そんな。
working out the battle seems to be turning against them.
ロシュ、俺を信じろ。お前を信じる。俺を信じろ。俺たちはまだ戦える。
You know that gets one all day long already, don't you? His character really has come such a long way from the boy he was in episode 1. Just brilliant character building, and it was aided so well by the presence of the equally brilliant Kamina.
大グレン団のみんなが俺を信じてるんだ。兄貴が信じた俺は、俺が信じる俺は。
This is legit one of those battles where it's so large and so much is happening that you don't even fully know what you should write, but I'll write this and let's go with that.
シモン。
コアドリルだ。
俺はシモンだ。大グレン団のリーダー、穴掘りシモンだ。それが俺のドリルだ。
Wow. Just wow, I honestly loved that scene right there. Seeing Simon fighting him one-on-one inside of his smashed up mech and then pulls out that epic finish right there. Simply epic, man!
100万匹の猿がこの地に満ちた時、月は地獄の使者となりて螺旋の星を滅ぼす。
Can't show it because he's got a big old hole in his chest, but this warning now sets up the next episodes and the change in the direction of the anime as we learn of a greater threat. Is it just me though, or does it not feel like Darling in the Franxx kind of ripped off a lot of the core of this anime? Let me know your thoughts though. Take one more for the final imagery as this massive beast is brought down to the ground and Simon returns inside Gurren Lagann to a thrilled crowd basking in their amazing hard-fought victory as the sun rises on a new day. This entire episode is basically one massive catch-up segment due to the huge size of the story and the fact that it will take a big turn in direction from this point on. They can take a win for this episode though, as it's done very smoothly, stylistically, and gives us a little bit more of an understanding as to how the mangaka works and put together the story. Also, it's got a nice changed ED showcasing so many original character designs too. 7 years have gone by. I am beyond shocked. Humanity even has its own capital city now on the surface of the planet, thriving from the looks of things too. I'm truly shocked right now. But very nice touch, also naming the city after Kamina.
もう勘弁してくれよ、ロシュ。
こちらは市民の苦情です。下水が詰まった。
I'm always a big fan of characters growing older in anime, and this is one of the greatest examples I've seen of that. It's just brilliant. Having seen a lot more of the city as a whole, its infrastructure, the inside of buildings, and this space command, I feel compelled to give a win for something I couldn't do that often in the first half. That is to praise seeing more of the world as a whole. When things feel lived in, then it has a different feeling overall, and I feel like they've done this.
いや、さすがは新政府のお歴々。何せ革命の英雄カミナとシモンもこのわしの豚むぐらステーキを食べて育ったんですからな。
That's so cool that they brought this guy back into the story now, as I was wondering what happened to everyone once there was peace on the surface finally. Also, this is fantastic because it directly relates to the previous win by showing us even more of what they've built. Because before, everything felt very bare and bland. The underground had almost nothing in it. Their fortress was pretty empty. But now it feels way more like they just had bigger fish to fry rather than decorating their homes and the base. It was more about survival and not laziness on the part of the mangaka. Yeah, this is now the last time I'm going to mention it, but can't be deeply impressed by them filling this world now with so much more life like this. I love it!
ありがとう。この指輪、とっても嬉しい。
よし、やったー、兄貴。
It's a shame she turned him down at first, not fully understanding his words, which by the way were lovely and kind of reminiscent of something I think Kamina would say about the whole my eyes will be your eyes and your ears will be my ears bit, but it's very nice that she understood after talking to her girlfriends and accepted. So take that win, you sassy so-and-so you!
南ヘンピーナ地区で反政府ゲリラの攻撃です。
何？
すでにグラパール隊も出撃していますが。
ヴィラルか。よし、 俺もグレン・ラガンで
Very clever to not only include that some humans are rebelling against their newly formed government, but also that Viral is still alive and well and fighting out there as well.
シモンはどうした？
そう指令が出るまでもないんだよ。
Oh man, I love that so much! That was those little kids who were tagging along and now they're piloting their own mechs!
地下こそが自分たちのふるさとだ。そう思う奴がな。だから俺は彼らに加勢した。
Ooh, lower volume, interesting thought plot twist.
シモン総司令官を筆頭に議会も市民もみんな平和ボケです。
Dude, I don't quite understand yet where people had an issue with this anime's second half. That is, unless people are talking generally about some later episodes and referring to it as that for the sake of ease. That being said, I'm genuinely enjoying the added elements of politics right now and the potential threat of him trying to overthrow Simon, which is the vibe I got here, and it's got me all giddy for what's to come.
ブータ。
Buta still being alive. Whew.
ああ、後で病院に行くよ。大丈夫。
World's largest plot twist, get down! I think that's actually some really decent looking CGI on that, plus the animation from the explosions is as always still on point, and the storyline is to me super interesting still as they battle this new foe. Wow. Simon destroying it deserves a win, but man, I didn't expect so much damage to come as a result from that. Goodness me, what an end to an episode. I'm personally thrilled by the turn in the story. I mean, something had to happen, and this just opens up a bunch of new questions, like what is Danger Level 2? What really is Spiral Power? What are these anti-spiral races? And finally, what's going to happen to Nia and the human race via this humanity extermination system? Okay, so I kind of missed that this was a new OP purely in terms of visuals, since the song is the same. So let's drop one here for the previously mentioned visuals, and as sad as it makes me knowing Kamina won't be back since he's not really in it, I'm loving it as a whole regardless.
目を覚ませ。ロジェノ。
I can tell you right now, he really is going to become the villain of this anime, I swear. And he brought this guy back as well, that's beyond insane, and I totally didn't expect it. Another plot twist to that!
俺はニアを捜索している。緊急事態だ。どけ。
どきません。
総司令の命令だ。
顔面出撃はロシオ補佐官の権限です。
For the story coming down the line, it's a clever idea, I think, to give someone other than Simon some large level of authority. Like in this case, so much authority that it overrules the Supreme Commander himself.
ニア。
The return of the princess has got me all nervous, especially with that beautifully animated head-turning shot just now and her acting all weird, teleporting all over the place, and what happens now?
さあ、聞かせてもらおうか。螺旋の力とは、アンチスパイラルとは何だ。
One thing this anime did not have in spades was proper world building. It was all very specific each episode in terms of its story. Go here and fight A, then travel to the next place and battle B. But now we're learning of this new group they'll have to fight, and that there was so much more to the world and its story than I ever thought possible from the start.
たった7年で人間たちはどれだけ文明を進歩させました。異常なスピードだとは思いませんか？
This whole scene, aside from being really interesting as we learn more about the Spiral King's methods and such, was enough to warrant about 3 sins being taken off of the anime sins version. Not only was that save legendary in how it was animated, but this is a nice way of showing the people's discontent towards Simon, the government, and everything that's going on right now. Not even gonna lie, that was just beyond cool, dude. I loved seeing that. And he did actually come up with a plan to deal with them on the fly like he said he would. Not sure how it happened, but it's a very nice touch showing beastmen now living alongside humans in the city. And again, going back to an earlier win, it's awesome to see the twist and shake up within the story in terms of the population's growing resentment towards them.
皆さん、落ち着いて。政府の話を聞いてください。
そうだ。
俺たちを撃つつもりだ。
よせ、銃は使うな。
この騒ぎ、広がらなければいいのですが。
Here's me writing this June 11th, 2020 and looking nervous like, my word, they were spot on back then, huh?
何の騒ぎだロシュ
シモン総司令、あなたを逮捕します。
Wow. Just wow. As far as twists go, this is brilliant to me, and obviously I dislike it and I hate this guy, and it's made worse that we've known him since he was a kid they brought up to the surface. Now obviously I did predict it to become an enemy of sorts, but it doesn't stop it from being a great twist all the same. Ooh, a new ED, and it's a proper different one. So it's pretty simple, just like the last one, just with another great sounding song and some different visuals done with a black and white artistic style change, which I always love, and the end of the song is fantastic to me for some reason, and I like the very end of it visually too. It's really hard to see this because it is sadly largely human nature in action, how easy it is for so many to burn down the world they live in for anger. It's especially worse since the statue dedicated to Kamina, who gave everything to give the young people of the world a chance for something better, is just torn down and his legacy muddied through the same anger.
ロシュ今のお前に兄貴の気持ちはわからない。彼の死が俺たちに何をくれたのかもな。お前の目、あん時のアダイ村の司祭と同じ目をしているぜ。
In terms of symbolism, this scene is just ideal, from Simon's evolution into a strong, capable leader, just like his Aniki was, to his own evolution into a man wanting to protect the public and seek power for himself, just like the priest he lived underground with all of that time. World building on top of world building at this point in the anime as we learn of extensive underground cities built by the humans of the past, capable of holding hundreds of thousands of people.
奴らに対抗するにはグレン・ラガンしかないはずだ。
英雄的行為で汚名返上というわけですか?
It's like genuinely annoying how some of these characters have developed, but in a good way if you know what I mean. It's unrealistic to assume everyone remains the same after 7 years, and the fact is people do change, and these were poisoned by their ideals and conspiring until they reach this point, where his past heroic deeds are entirely forgotten, and instead they take cheap shots at him.
キノンなんでキノンがグレンに乗ってるんだ。
私のベルトに爆弾の起爆装置をセットしました。
何
I feel like this deserves a separate win tied to the previous one, because like I said, in spite of never showing an ounce of cowardice in 7 years, only working for the people, they trust him so very little that they feel the need to basically put a hostage on board with him to definitely 100% ensure he comes back. But this lack of trust in him is a win, because otherwise it would be too much of a 180 on the character he's become if he suddenly was like, nah, we trust you to come back. It's awesome how even 19 episodes down the road they still make use of Simon's roots now and again by having him use his drills during battle. Oh dear lord, that's amazing! And I'm in love with Gurren Lagann's explosion effects, they're brilliant! Even though it wasn't Simon's doing, that was absolutely equally as amazing as the previous win.
勘違いしないでお兄ちゃん。私が志願したの。私が人間爆弾になるって言ったの。ロシアの役に立ちたかったの。
God, this just gets worse and worse, but still in a good way, because true to form, Rossyu sent off Simon without a single word of thanks. In fact, it was all negatives, and now she, his younger sister, is falling in love with him, and even stops her brother from attacking him in anger, because she just wants to be of use to him. Blah! It's unreal how these characters have changed, and some so much for the worse.
ほう、面白い男がやってきたな。ようこそ監獄へ。シモン総司令。
Absolutely unexpected plot twist!
見ろ、この俺様の姿を。ここに入れられる時に羽を切られちまった。
I swear, bringing back these beastmen was such a clever move. They didn't just say, okay, they're all gone and now it's all humans. Instead, now we get scenes like this, where characters of the past reappear and we learn they took off his wings when they put him in prison. I can't show almost any of the scene since I imagine the towels being all they're wearing would limit me on here, but I wanted to add a win regardless because Viral comes in to protect Simon, then they fight, and it's a smoothly animated fight, and it makes me wonder if perhaps they'll come to team up, but I'm not sure yet. this little scene has me incredibly intrigued right now as to why they're packing this ship full of animals and not humans, and then before she can respond angrily, he suddenly takes off, perhaps after realising something, and like I said, I'm beyond intrigued right now. This reveal and the implications that arise alongside it of how will humans survive an entire year if they can do so that long off the surface. Not to mention that it means the vast majority of humans on Earth will perish, since the only thing that can survive is the new ship and those on it. As far as twists go, this is simply epic. Gurren Lagann is really nailing it in terms of shocking revelations within its overall story in this second half. I wonder if Gurren Lagann took some elements from Evangelion or not, because the appearances of these new foes, in terms of how they suddenly appear and everyone has to quickly fight them, is very similar. In fact, if I think about it, there are actually a lot of similarities, but I don't hate on that. It's a great anime regardless. Showing us the wrecked surface of the city streets was a very nice idea, especially since it wasn't all that long ago that we saw it brimming with light and life, and now it's taken such a turn. See you! I really thought that could be the end of him right there, but suddenly this epic dude steps in to save the day. Oh man, I can't take much more! I don't even fully understand why, but I'm hyped up seeing these boys again!
間に合わない避難民は
30分で出発する。それが決定事項だ。僕も一度はこれに未来を託したんだ。
As much as I might dislike the character that he's now become, I have to give credit to the fact that he clearly didn't become a bad guy for the sake of bad guyness. Instead, he still does want to lead and protect the people and save as many as he can, as is nicely demonstrated here and by him returning the drill key in a minute's time. That seriously makes for such an impressive looking city-wide scenery shot.
しばらく見ないうちにずいぶんつまんない女になったわね。
Epic end of episode, amazing, stupendous, Yoko returning to the anime-related plot twist! Gurren Lagann continues to impress me by now turning back the clock an entire year as we witness what Yoko had been up to all of that time away.
よし、男の子。
Yes, please!
でもこの景色は綺麗だと思う。
男女に行って捕まるくらいならこの顔面に食い物積み込んでどっかに隠れる方が利口ってもんだろ。
So originally I thought these were beastmen again, but no, it turns out they're criminals, and this once again just lends itself to how well they've handled slowly world building in this second half of the anime. I honestly cannot sing their praises enough to make up for everything I felt that was lacking in the first half here, but ultimately that was okay as well, since the first half was more about the battles and extensive character building than anything else. Yoko's still being as much a badass as ever. As always, got to avoid showing it, but she went back to her normal attire. Yay! Oh, that's a genuinely lovely and sweet moment made up of these excellent voice actors for the kids as she takes off to save their world and future for them. Feels really good to have the group back together again, like the old days, working and fighting together towards a nearly impossible victory. Take a win, you guys!
よく知ってるよ。グレンダンの大バカ野郎だ。
Dude, it just gets better and better, son, because now Viral has joined in the team, and that's an extremely nice touch, given how they built his character, with of course his best moment coming by way of refusing to cheat in order to win in episode 13. The return of my beautiful baby Buta!
取り戻してみせる。子供たちが安心してお日様見て暮らせる世界を。
I love that because it's exactly what I gave Kamina a win for saying in the first half. That was his mission in working so hard to defeat their enemy.
まさかシモンさん。
諦めたらそこで終わりだ。ビラル、あれをやるぞ。
あれそれも一興。
Simon coming to the rescue, and with all that gusto and energy that he got from Kamina, let's go! Ah, that's beyond amazing! Looking back when I was talking about large battles in the first half, a lot of you must have been chuckling, knowing that even bigger ones were about to come around the corner, and this one is now by far the largest. Gurren Lagann did an amazing job building up its battles, from a skirmish at the start, to Viral versus Kamina and Simon, to taking on their large 4 generals base, and all the way up to tackling the moon and the enemy in space. It's been one heck of a wild ride, I tell you.
いきなり命令か。
命令じゃない。提案だ。
だったら乗った。
I never actually thought it'd be both heartwarming and entertaining to see Viral and Simon fight together, but it really is.
やってやるよ。何度だってな。
まったく貴様といると飽きないな。
This is a great time to add a final win for the anime and its excellent voice acting. Some have said that the dub is better, but overall the opinion seems to be that the sub is slightly better. But yeah, their performances have been epic throughout. Okay, well I think it's fair to say that that transformation was by far the best of all of Gurren Lagann. Whoa! Also, take one more here just in case I forget later on, and instead I'll just continue to mention the very greatest of animation to come, but I want to, for one last time, shout out the fact that they've been consistent from episode 1 to 22 in terms of animation quality. That's extremely rare. I'll be honest, did not expect whatsoever to be praising the animation quality right after the previous win was mentioned, but how are you going to argue that's not good enough? It's amazing! Choosing to show them below the surface, watching the earth trembling from the coming changes.
聞こえたか、ギミ、ダリ。なんとかあと1分伸ばせ。そして突入1分前になったら、アーク・グレン・ラガンは離脱する。本艦に乗っている18万人の命だけは守り抜く。なんと罵られようと。 This intense scene as he asks for their help for one final minute, as that amazing music that I adore starts up, adding even more tension, and he reveals his plan to disengage in order to save the lives on board. Say what you want about him, but here he shows he's not a hero, but instead someone trying to do a final duty for the people he swore to protect.
だから一つずつ希望の芽を潰していくのです。希望があるように見えながら、それがダメだと分かった時。
That is incredibly clever. At the time, they were random occurrences, but now it fits in extremely well with her initial speech regarding crushing hope and such. But yeah, now that I think about it, every time they had a plan, and that plan came with a sense of hope, something came along to crush it. These 2 minutes are glorious. The music was perfect and emotional, his words rang true, and it ended with a really anxious moment as you weren't sure what had happened for like a solid 5 seconds.
戦艦型です。
What's amazing to me is that this reveal is coming at the end of episode 22, which means as shocked as I was at the end of episode 13, it seems like there's another entire journey ahead of them as we head into 23 and beyond. Like, this is crazy. This is a hugely epic legacy.
さすがシモンだ。
そうね。やっぱり大した男ね。
Also, I feel like win number 300 should be for Simon and Viral's victory, saving the Earth and the almost 850,000 people still on it praying for hope.
その可能性は果てしなくゼロに近い。
だったら、俺にとっては 100% と同じことだ。
迎えに来てくれるのですか?
Oh man, that's genuinely sad to me right now. It's like she broke through finally, and that hit me hard as I wasn't expecting it. And then he said that thing we all know and love. Take a final win for the end of this amazing episode as we now, as I said before, enter what will likely be the final stage of the anime's journey, and now I can see how it will finally link into the very start of episode 1. Oh mate, you want me to tear up? Just show this old man looking after things and missing the girl he helped raise. Oh, and that music.
グレン・ラガン、アーク・グレン、カテドラル・テラ。
Showing us the massive size differences between each of them.
お前たちの強さが何なのか分かった気がするよ。
まだまだだ。俺たちはもっと強くなる。
Amazing looking city-wide scenery shot. Also, I know I was happy when Viral joined the crew for that battle, but the fact that he's not only joined their crew officially now, but is also more understanding of humans, their emotions, and where their strength comes from is great. I was totally not ever expecting to see him again, and they actually aged him appropriately.
ロシュはあの人は私利私欲であなたを追い落としたわけじゃないんです。
Beautifully adding this scene to show that he wasn't quite so cold and emotionless about the trial as seemed all along. Oh my god, he just teleported! This is the thing, are you kidding me?! That was unbelievable. Simon giving him the same treatment that Kamina gave him years ago on 2 occasions when he had given up on himself. The symbolism and nods to the past in Gurren Lagann are just exceptional.
人はみんな間違いを犯す。当たり前だ。でもな、間違ったら誰かにぶん殴られりゃいいんだ。思いっきり殴られて、お前が信じるお前を信じろ。そう言われた。
Also though, it really does go to show so much about Simon's character in that even after everything he was put through, he absolutely does not want him taking that way out, being in despair. It just says so much about his own character and the man he's become.
シモンさん。来い、ロシュ。お前が必要だ。いや、俺以上にお前を必要としている奴がいたか。
Oh, it's really got me, man. Oh, that was so sweet. He was the boy living under the surface, and he forgave him, and oh, that's so good. He can take the maximum 2 wins here.
ここじ。なぜここに。一体どうした。それは。
I love this old dude. Even though he doesn't talk, it oddly feels like I know him, and he's been in this for ages now.
待たせたな、みんな。超銀河大グレン発進だ。行くぞ、最後の戦いだ。
Oh, dude, this is such a cool end to the episode. It's the end to the final stage of the story, just like was shown at the start of episode 1. It's crazy to think how far the series has come, and yet it's only really 22 full episodes at this point, not counting the recap, yet it feels so much longer to me. Also, Yoko has got a new outfit, and it's not even really fair, to be honest. Oh, and also the rest of them look pretty cool in their new outfits too. Simon looks like a real boss.
Mia!
来てくれたのね。
I'm so very confused, but also so very intrigued right now. So I praised this anime long ago for doing a great job animating huge objects in a smaller environment, linking it to anime like Attack on Titan and such. And that was back when it was mechs fighting on the ground near foot soldiers in like episode 2 and 3. But now, since then we've come so far. Things keep getting bigger and bigger, and the animators keep on dealing with it in a fantastic fashion. Scale really is dealt with well, and would you just look at the size of that thing?
関西機を放出。ものすごい量です。その数無量体数。
I've also talked a lot about large-scale battles, and quite frankly, the first few times I've mentioned that now seem laughable when you consider the scale of this coming battle. It's crazy, I can't say much else. Still can hardly believe that they managed to keep the animation so consistently amazing from the start to pretty much the end. I mean, there's no way the budget is going to have run out now in the last few episodes. They also, for 2007, made outstanding use of CGI, both on the original enemies from space and now here on shields and such.
おいおい、俺たちを誰だと思ったんだ？俺たちも目立ちてんだよ。時間は稼いどくぜ。
頼んだぜ、みんな。
God, I love views like that as he flies into the distance and we see him moving close inside his mech as battles rage all around them.
待っててくれ、みんな。
Art style change that I love.
なんだ？何？なんだこいつら！急にちょこまかと！
Then as always, the kick in this epic song I dig so much, just as the battle suddenly takes a distressing turn against our heroes.
俺、どこまで行けた？ゾーセ！こんなクソどもが！
Incredible voice acting as one of their own is taken out, someone who came all the way from the underground of Earth to fight his foes all the way into the deepest parts of space.
絶対に似合おう。相棒、もう一暴れだ。グレンダンの意地、見せてやるぜ！
I personally think it was a very smart idea now towards the end to have scenes like this, where there is an emotional impact, because before now it was Kamina alone, and now we've lost 3 in just half an episode.
そこからで近すぎる。でもこれを落とさなきゃ。
They just keep on managing to make this more and more intense as the enemy warps in missiles, and those close enough to take them out risk their own lives each time. I honestly am so shocked by the emotional punch in the gut they've created in this episode time and time again as we now lose another one, desperate to save the ship, and he didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to his wife.
君、ダリーを守れ！生きろよ、俺たちの分も。
ジョーガン、バリーボー！
Ah, Jesus. This is just insane now, man. Can't take it. Another 2 gone.
罠だ。まんまと誘い込まれてしまったか。
This plot twist because things just couldn't go smoothly for them now, could it? Also, I'm sure I've heard that creepy laughter before in the 1997 version of Berserk, right at the end in the Demon Realm.
俺たちのパワーは無限だ。折れない心がある限り。
無茶を言う男だ。だが、その無茶に乗らせてもらおう。
Feeling the need one more time to shout out the character Simon ultimately became, it's really hard to think that he was that scared boy who found courage because of his friend, and now he's this man. I swear if you think about it, it's almost as though the animation actually got better as the season progressed. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, boys and few gals.
どこに死ぬのが怖くない人間がいる。でもな、仕方ねえんだ。これしか能がねえんだ。
I'm gonna be really upset if something now also happens to him, since he's arguably one of the largest characters outside the main group, and he's been in it forever at this point. But he's incredibly brave here in his speech.
シモンが上から引っ張って、あんたが下から押し上げて。 そうやってここまで来れた。私はそう思うよ。
なあ、ヨゴ。地球に戻ったら、お前の子供たちに会わせてくれっか。こいつらぶち倒して、アンチスパイラルやっつけて地球に戻ったら。そん時や。
His character development has been one of my favourites, since he's essentially been loyal near enough from the start, aside from his small issue with Simon taking over initially, and it's good to see the mangaka write into his story that he wants to survive this mission against all the odds, and so makes her a promise here.
一石二鳥ね。でも、それが命取りでもある。
強力な螺旋エネルギーを与えれば処理が乱れて。
何？お前まさか。
Oh my god, Buta is amazing! Come off it, man!
届かなかった。
Bait and switch missile not working related plot twist of genuine concern and worry.
すまねえ。これも俺のわがままだ。ありがとうよ。
好きでやってるんでしょ。止められない。
Oh man, where did this super emotional moment come from?
頼む。こいつか。今だ。ミサイル発射。まだキングキタンが残ってるぜ。てめえごときに食いつくせる気や。 螺旋の力かよ。大したもんじゃねえか。
And now we lose another one. A truly great character, built amazingly well throughout. He went out in such a blaze of glory, protecting his friends with a truly outstanding voice acting performance in the same vein as All Might's United States of Smash.
変形だ。その言葉待っていた。上銀河グレンラガン。
This likely final transformation was beyond epic, especially mixed with that Fight the Power song, mixed with some classic Final Fantasy final boss styled opera music. For the final time, awesome art style change. Also, I don't know if this is the first time we've seen him with these Kamina styled shades or not, but take a win for looking strikingly similar to him right here. Okay, that stunning animation just deserves its own shout out.
それは違う。どっちも守る。宇宙もどっちもな。それが俺たち大グレン団だ。
I'm choosing to believe that this was actually part of the Spiral King who perhaps did love his daughter and wanted Simon to rescue her and make her happy, even after finding out the truth of the universe.
よし行け。過去も未来も一気にぶち抜け。驚いた。
I can't believe at the start they had a sword and a rifle and the head of a mech, and now this.
上銀河ギガドリルブレイク。
I can't not give that its own win, can I? Get off my back, you're heavy!
もう少しだよ、兄貴。
頼むぜシモン。お前のドリルだけが頼りだ。
Cannot express how happy I am hearing his voice again, man.
獣人どもにはかなぎこねえが、奴らの目を盗んで金目のもんいただきゃ、ここでの暮らしには困らねえ。
Obviously, I haven't the first clue what's going on, but I'm loving seeing him again and Simon as a youngster, and it feels like such a nostalgic feeling to me.
知性がある限り、もう抜け出すことなどできはしない。
貴様、アンチスパイラルか。
Meeting the anti-spiral for the first time and hearing what's happening to our crew and being, quite honestly, utterly confused. But plot twist all the same, right? Excuse me for just a moment. What?
なくしたのかドリル。男の魂背中に背負い不当不屈の鬼リーダー。
This really did feel like the real Kamina talking to him somehow. I'm not even sure if that's at all possible, but mix that scene with that super emotional music that they seem to have been keeping back until the very end of the anime, and you get a fantastic scene.
今度こそ本当にアバヨだ。
アバヨじゃねえ。一緒だろ。
ああ。
Now that got me going. Gonna miss these lads. Unbelievable that it's kind of like the spirit and essence of Kamina who ultimately ended up pulling them all out of this eternal dream state. And I'm really glad that the direction the overall story went allowed for this Kamina moment to not seem far-fetched. Holy moly, as far as grand entrances go, this one officially ranks in like my all-time top 5. I mean, look at that dominating and powerful looking stance over their enemy. I love it. Take a win here for Nia. She really did a great job as a character, holding on to hope that Simon and everyone would eventually come to rescue her against, like, all the odds in the universe. All of them. It was crazy what they've achieved. So the only thing that could have made Simon's grand entrance even better is if they all turned up looking totally cool, and they did it. At this point in time, what do you even say when they show scenes like this? I can't talk about scale and epicness anymore. Just shut up and take my wins.
Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann!
That's the name of the anime!
かりそめの体だが、今は共に戦わせてくれ。
心強いよ。
いや、今さら父親面できるとも思わぬが、よく頑張った。
ありがとう、お父様。
王ではない。今はただの戦士だ。ビラル、お前と同じな。
As far as character development goes, few things are as appealing to me as the Spiral King having come all the way from where he was in the first half to this point here. Absolutely brilliant. Let's kick off this massive scale battle. Even saying that sounds silly. I mean, he's jumping on entire galaxies in order to gain height, with a win for utterly impressive animation quality at episode 27.
アンチスパイラルか。
地球に手は出させるものか。
あれはグレン・ラガン。
決まれよカバル、任せとけ。
Dude, how amazing is that for everyone to suddenly see them protecting the Earth and all of them on it? Simon has basically been the exact opposite of these anti-spirals right from the start. Always finding a way to overcome the impossible pretty much, at least since Kamina passed away anyway. As strong as the enemy is, as much as they found a way to torment them time and again, Simon has found another way to fight back against them. He's an outstanding character, truly. They can take a win for the demise of the Spiral King finally. It was actually sad to see him go, and purely because it was revealed that he was changed from who he was originally. Their words were powerful and extremely well written, and now it puts all the other large battles to scale that came before. They can take a final maximum 2 wins right here as we see them rush and dole the end of this battle, elegantly bringing it down to Simon in his original mech from way back in episode 1. Now that's a beautiful and equally symbolic way to end things after coming all of this way. I honestly loved that so much.
Oh,
that's so amazing, dude!
ニア、お前のことは忘れない。
愛してるわ、シモン。
ああ、俺もだ。愛してる。
シモン。
Well, that was unexpectedly depressing, but it does make sense. After everything we saw and learnt, it would have been admittedly odd if she was fine and dandy afterwards forever. Doesn't make it any less sad though. One final gorgeous art style change.
結局調整に20年もかかったからな。
あなたじゃなきゃできない仕事だったわよ、ロシュ大統領。
This is like JoJo with how far the story spans. I mean, we knew him as a young kid, and then a man in his 20s, and now he's in probably his mid-40s. I adore that.
本当だ、すごいなおじさん。
当たり前だ。俺を誰だと。
Seeing old man Simon is especially great, but half the win is for seeing everyone else as well. It's just very sad to me how he lived out the rest of his years.
すべて星だ。
Keeping Buta alive made me unexpectedly happy. Man oh man, take one final win for the soft, slow piano just closing out the end of the anime in such an emotionally touching way. It's like Simon stood aside, having worked enough, having lost enough, and having sacrificed enough to want to live his days in relative solitude with Buta by his side. Overall, Gurren Lagann was a massively expansive journey driven by some of the best character building I've seen to date, stunning animation from start to finish with a whole wealth of epic characters and battles. The end of the anime is also great since it opened the world to the very end, telling us of other races in the galaxy all coming together as one now in peace. I loved this one and I hope you guys and gals loved this video. If you want to show that love, hit the like button and consider leaving a comment below. You can also support the work I still do entirely alone by pledging whatever you'd like on my Patreon in return for numerous awesome rewards. Thanks again for watching, and of course I'll see you in whatever video is up next.
Nathan Bird Without a Word, Arias Alibari, Aidan White, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Isael Caldera, Chris Harris, Jonas Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Luis Hernandez, Joe W, Yuki Ali, Manuel Morales, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Sentimento, Jeffer6263, Silver, Master Tank, Boogie, Aurora, Kevin Nauta, Stefio, Brendan Kriya, Storm 970, Spirit Spinner, Mr. Waffle 64, Theodore Quackens, Kaj Vorzorma, Jordan Samuels, Humye, Crimson Shadows, Forian, Kyle Farmer, Buzzbomb 3000, Mr. Beragino, Console Peasant 12, Adora Blue, Yagai 7636.